casting in my bad luck. Some nights I call it a draw. Some nights I wish that my lips could build a castle. Some nights I wish they just fall off. But I still wait. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have some fun with our DBQ. We're going to take a look today at our rubric. Rubrics are our friends. Say that again. Rubrics are my friend. We're going to take a look at the rubric for our DBQ, and seriously, rubrics really are your friend. They're going to help you in junior high, they're going to help you in high school, and the more attention you pay to your rubric, the more exciting your life will be. We're going to take a look right now at the rubric for the Battle of Gettysburg DBQ, and we're going to start with the 3 area and just run through some of these things. We want you to truly love your rubric. Look this over during the next week as you are writing your paper. So let's just start off here and take a look. The first thing we want to look at is the introduction. And the introduction, of course, has a hook, something to get the attention of the reader. The thesis statement, the Battle of Gettysburg was a major turning point in the Civil War. And, of course, the organizational parts or roadmap, and that is basically going to tell your reasons why you think the Battle of Gettysburg was a turning point in the Civil War. So it might be something like, one of the reasons might be that it caused low morale with the Confederates. All right, let's look at the next thing. Once you have your introduction, now we're going to take a look at the body paragraphs. And really important that your body paragraphs start off with some good topic sentences that tie back to your thesis statement. So we want some good topic sentences that tie back to your thesis statement. So we might say something like this. The first reason the Battle of Gettysburg was a turning point in the Civil War is because the Confederates suffered a high percentage of casualties. And so what we're doing is we're tying back to our thesis where we're talking about the Battle of Gettysburg being a turning point in the Civil War, and then we're going to tell the reason the Confederates suffered a high percentage or a high rate of casualties. And then our paragraph, of course, is going to talk about, we're going to give some evidence and so on as to the casualties suffered by the Confederacy versus the North. And the next thing we're going to look at are the body paragraphs and, of course, good reasons. So once you get your topic sentence up here, you've got to make sure that you've got some really good evidence. You're really going to explain things and explain why it was a turning point. You don't just want to say they suffered high casualties. You have to go into detail about that. You can do that. You can get good evidence by using the documents. And for a 3 grade, you need to have, kind of having fun with my highlighters here, you need to have at least 3 documents. Now, we're giving you a little leeway because we're nice teachers, and you can use the hook, you can use the background essay, document A, document B, document C, or document D. We're going to count any of those as your documents. When you do that, notice it says highlight where the doc was used in the paper, just the parentheses part, and then you can kind of check off. Actually, we're going to ask you to, I think I want you to put body paragraph BP, sorry about that, BP 1, so that I will know exactly where to go to find where you use that document. All right, the next thing we're going to take a look at is using historical thinking in our paper. Let's go with this pea green highlighter here. Ooh, beautiful. This says, I demonstrated historical thinking by using one of these skills. The 2 best things that you may want to consider, of course, is turning points, because we're talking about turning points. That's the main thesis. So that, you might discuss throughout. It certainly is going to be in your thesis statement, but you're going to have to go in a little detail, probably in one of your body paragraphs, or through their eyes. So when you're talking through the eyes of
possibly Robert E. Lee, somebody else. And we will have a little video for you that will show you how to do a really high quality job of that. Of course, every good DBQ has a conclusion where you're going to restate the thesis. It looks a little bit like your introduction, but a little different. And for those special people, English teachers, all of us, we want to make sure that your DBQ is well written and only has a couple spelling errors or grammatical errors. And one way that we're going to ask you to do that, which is a little bit different, is we're going to ask you to have a friend or a family member take a look at your paper. So it could be somebody in the classroom, it could be a family member, or it could just be I put friend outside of the classroom. Have them read it over, not just for minor things, but ask them if it makes sense, and then they're going to sign over here. Now let's go ahead and jump up and take a look at what we need to do for a 4. For a 4, your introduction is going to use that sophisticated thesis statement, which uses while, although, or despite. And on your handout, there are several examples of that, and the reason we do that is so that we can at least discuss, maybe refute some other possible turning points, such as the Battle of Vicksburg. The body paragraphs must have just a ton of evidence, a ton of reasons, or a ton of examples explaining each of your reasons. You do need to make reference to other possible turning points, and we have some articles on that you can take a look at. Documents. I used and accurately interpreted at least 4 documents. You have to be able to show us that you understood the document. It's not just enough to say blah, 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 Doc B. You have to show us that you understood it. Remember, for using the documents, and this goes right along with the evidence, you can't just in a general way say something about the document. You have to pull out a quote, or you have to discuss some of the stats that are on the chart, or something on the map. So you have to be specific. You're going to sandwich your evidence, so you're going to lead up to it, state the evidence, and then make a statement about it. We've done that quite a bit, and there is an example on your handout. For a 4, you need to have some outside knowledge, 2 to 3 details. 2 to 3 details that are not found anywhere in the documents that you either watched a video or read an article about. And then we're going to ask you to use some thinking starters. And let's just take a look at some of those thinking starters. You actually have them on the back side of your rubric. These are just phrases that historians use. It might be, here's some for turning points. Here's some thinking starters, sentence starters for through their eyes. We are able to hear the voice of blank by reading her journal. And we just want to get you kind of writing in the style of a historian. And so that's pretty simple. If you guys follow this and do these things, you're going to have an awesome paper. I can't wait to read them. Thanks a lot. And don't forget to love your rubric.
Some nights I stay up, cashing in my bad luck. Some nights I call it a draw. Some nights I wish that my lips could build a castle. Some nights I wish they just fall off. But I still wake up, I still see your ghost. Oh Lord, I'm still not sure what I stand for. What do I stand for? What do I stand for? Most nights I don't know.